I don't know if that was the right one, but Maxo wasn't in there. So this is what happens when you're not there, Max. I just hit buttons.
I'm sorry, Saucy.
No, don't worry
going
about
off.
it. No, I know. Don't worry. I'm just kidding. Don't worry about it. Welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. Final hour of the show. That's Maxo, Mussy, Leber's here.
Hey, what's going on?
Hawks in the Florida Keys.
He's doing something weird with a monkey.
Yeah, as I've said, and this is my favorite line, is he was posting all kinds of pictures, and somebody just wrote, "Your Twitter's on, Hawk." Corey is somewhere, and Zacho is in Disneyland or World. I don't know where Zacho is.
Oh, he's got to be World. I don't think he's a land guy.
Yeah. Oh, he must be World.
Yeah,
I think he's only Florida?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because land is a little, I mean, if Disney had a trailer park, it's a little bit like that.
Really?
Really? I've never been to either.
Yeah, me neither.
I've been to
no
both,
interest.
yeah.
I already have plans, though, to go.
Are you?
Not kidding, yeah. I got a text yesterday from somebody who used to work here. He has a kid similar age. He said, "We'll take the boys when they're both 5." And my wife and his wife were like, "Yeah, sounds good." So
Yeah,
we
you
have
wanna wait.
We have Disney plans, and my son's 4 months old and his son is 7 months old.
Yeah, you want to wait because you want the kids to actually remember it. And it's got to be a little more special, in that regard. We waited until Grant was 12 and Ruby was 10.
Yeah.
And that seemed like a really good window for it. Yeah, we had a blast.
Well, I don't have that much time left, so we're going to go when they're 5. I'll be 50.
Can I offer another suggestion?
Don't go.
Don't go.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I've heard it's just a giant time and money suck.
The money is, whoa, wow.
That we never went. That was my dad's attitude. Like, we were going to go. My aunt was going to take my mom's sister and her family, and then my mom and all of us were going to go. At the last minute, my dad's like, "Nah, you guys aren't going to go." I don't know if it was like that dramatic, but yeah, we've never been. And he was the same way. He's like, "I hate Florida. I don't want to go. I don't know." He has no interest.
Listen, I know this is a bucket of cold water on the whole conversation and all that Disney is. And
that's how we love you, man.
The joy and the happiness.
You are the wet blanket.
I am the wet blanket. They do a fantastic job of making the whole world feel like they've got FOMO for not going. Right? I don't know how they've done it.
Well, with every movie that they have.
They've convinced every child and every parent now that if you don't take your kid to Disneyland or Disney World, you're failing as a parent.
Okay.
Let me tell you right now.
Way to go, Lawyer Lambert.
You're not missing much. If you want gigantic crowds, a gigantic invoice at the end of the weekend, sweat dripping down your back and down your bowels the whole time, and dealing with just total annoyance, go ahead and go. You know what? I don't think it's worth the pictures that you think it's. I don't think it's going to be as magical as you think it's going to be.
Well, isn't it just mostly just waiting in line?
It's waiting in line.
There's a lot of
and your
that.
kids are just pissed.
And I get it. I can hear people screaming already. Yes, but there's a strategy to do it. You can get fast passes. Do all this but the fast passes only work a couple times for the whole day. You don't get a fast pass that works for the whole park.
And if everybody's a fast pass, how is it a fast pass?
Right. Well, the thing is, it's surprising. It is surprising how many people don't do it.
Right.
So waiting in line 10 minutes versus waiting in line an hour and a half, that's a big difference, right?
Well, yeah.
And it depends on what time you're at the park and stuff like that. Swedberg is the guy you need to talk to. Greg has books and he has strategies and everything.
I'm shocked he didn't call in when Ben said Disney sucks.
No, but seriously, there is a strategy. There is a way to go and have a great time, not sit in the longest of lines, and then also have time to go back to the hotel where you're staying and stay on the park, because otherwise that's ridiculous. And then the kids get time to go hop in the pool, you chill out, and then you go later again.
Yeah,
back to the park. Early morning and then later in the afternoon to the evening. That's the best times.
I just think that if you're okay having this like FOMO and feeling like you're missing out, there's 100 other family vacations that you could take that are way more.
Yeah, go to Rosie's spot.
Yeah, way more enjoyable, way cheaper.
The Black Hills, my kids still to this day.
Same.
What's the favorite vacation that we've taken? Oh, the Black Hills.
Same.
Yeah, that and Estes Park in Colorado.
I'm not lying. I cannot believe how much the kids loved going to the Black Hills.
Yeah.
You can literally probably go almost anywhere on planet Earth for how much it costs to go to Disney World or Disneyland.
Yeah,
you could go to any country in the world.
Yeah.
That vacation is basically one of those where we'll look at the credit card next month. and we'll just deal with it. You just don't even consider how much you're spending. You just do it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, really think about what you're doing it for. If you and Kelly want to go because you guys really have always wanted to go and you want to go, that's
she's
great.
been. I've never been.
But if the motivation truly is there, you really, really want to do this, then that's fine. Then you don't care about all the other things, right?
Yeah.
But if you're doing it just because you feel like you have to do it as an American, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, now it's a little late, but I will tell you the sneaky best way to go is when you're adults and you just go, like Christy and I went before we had kids, and we had the greatest time. I mean, not only trying to drink around the world at Epcot, but no, we had the best time. It was so
Please
cool.
tell me you guys did not ride the teacups.
Yes, of course we did.
You did. You waited in line to ride the
Well,
teacups?
see, neither one of us had actually gone when we were kids.
What is that? It's a Wonderful Life or world?
No,
or
that's Magic Kingdom is where they have the teacups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the ride called again?
Like it.
Which one are you talking about?
The teacups. You sit.
I think they're just called the teacups.
It's a
Aren't
small. No,
those
it's a small
gone?
world. It's a small world.
Oh God! Now that ride. Oh dear God! Do you want to like almost punch a baby because it is just? I don't. Nobody does that.
I could not believe.
It's
I don't think you're
the
allowed at Disney World
It's
anymore.
the worst.
horrible.
So bad. And
Horrible.
Yeah, and all the little animatronic things are all like dusty and gross looking, and it's that same damn song
Dusty.
over and over again. Yeah, I hated that. That ride sucks.
I know you're probably like he's very young, but I know you're gonna be like a parent like me, Saucy, and all this is gonna go out the window if Louis says he wants to go.
Well, of
if
course.
if my
Of course.
daughter wants to go, I cannot say no to her. I'll
Yeah, of
spend a
course.
bajillion. I'll empty my bank account to
Of
go.
course, well, yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
Then
I'm kind
my-
of similar with Ben. Like, I hate lines.
Yeah, I
hate
don't
the
want
heat.
to, yeah.
But
And my suggestion: go to Disneyland in California.
Yeah.
Because then you have the other adventure park next
so let me ask
door.
a stupid question. What's the difference?
Yeah, but you got Universal in Orlando as well.
Yeah, but it depends on how young the kid's going to be when they go.
I don't know what's the difference in land and world. Why isn't
Land is
Swinburne going?
significantly
Orlando
smaller.
and California.
Disneyland is significantly smaller and more manageable. And you get all the characters, you get all the like
I think Nordo's been.
you get all
but-
the meat and potatoes without all the crazy Orlando stuff.
Okay.
And plus, if you can go to an Angels game or a Dodgers game.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll catch you after the
Just
game,
hating on
kid.
Disney. I don't
I just think it's a marketing suck that we have
And
all
you've
like,
been.
jumped into. Yeah, I've been and I will never go back.
Well, once is enough. We used to go.
I know, but
we used to go every year as a radio station, so that was a blast.
What?
Was it?
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I was working at K102 Mornings, oh man, we went like every year.
Rip.
It was so
nice.
And
Yeah.
they would actually close a park every night just for the radio folks, so we could just go walk around.
Oh,
have
yeah, that would be
cocktails.
fun.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
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 Of course
Well,
it's
yeah,
fun. That
I would love every amusement park if you close it down just
Correct,
for
that
me and
was
my
like
crew.
when
They'd
you
have
were-
awesome bands play, and we'd have these amazing speakers. Yeah, it was great.
That was like when you would hear that the class after you got to go to the Mall of America for their like midnight party and they closed the whole thing. You're like, what? We got to, I mean, no offense. We went to a bowling alley. You got to go to the Mall of America with no lines?
private Mall of
What the
America.
hell?
Just
Oh,
hearing
yeah.
about how things used to be around
Yeah.
here, I feel like I live in the
good old days.
Flintstones compared to the Jetsons. It feels like they were flying cars that picked people up and drove them to the radio station before I
We
got
had
here.
massive parties here in our own building.
Yeah, that's everybody passed out, right? That famous story?
Yeah.
Jessica Simpson and all that?
Yeah, when her dog pooped in the VP's office, and and Montgomery Gentry brought in their moonshine, and everyone got real ripped.
Yeah, I'm with you, Max. I feel like before I got here, it was just a party all the time.
Right, everyone
Yeah.
talks about how fun it
Yeah,
was, how many
yeah.
people were around.
It's still fun.
Like all these artists is hanging out. It sounds like I heard
Yeah.
just like spending money everywhere. You guys are going on
it was
these
awesome.
these trips and
We had 2 floors
parties.
back then, man.
Yeah. I mean, before I showed up, they went on a cruise and I mean, Star got like food poisoning. They went like marlin fishing. Like they did the whole bit. Yeah. Yeah. Star and Hawk went marlin fishing, I think in Mexico or something. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
speaking of that, we actually did a full week of shows live on the Disney cruise. So we were actually doing the show
That's really
live.
hot.
Oh,
yeah.
bro.
It was amazing. But speaking of that, if you're thinking about when Louis hits 5, you should possibly think about the cruise. So you go and you spend like 3 days at the parks, and then you get on the cruise. And it's just,
Can I come over and watch?
4 days on it.
Hey, Sauce, can I, because I've been like Mr. Wet Blanket over here and the whole thing, can I just say that the cruise is actually the way to go?
Oh, you've done the cruise?
I've not done the cruise, but I've heard from so many families.
It's awesome.
It's like the really cool, like, in between.
Okay.
It's like,
Oh, Rose.
and you really get the best of both worlds if you can handle a cruise. Cruising on its own, you may not be.
But it's only a 4-day cruise.
Yeah,
You're
it's
going
not-
to their private island, basically, is all you're really doing.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
some people don't like being on a ship for that long
no.
and then open ocean. Some people want to get like motion sick because that can happen. Doesn't happen all the time. But yes, if you were going to do Disney, quote unquote Disney, the cruise is the way to go.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I've never been. Are you guys cruise guys? I've never been on a cruise.
I've been twice. It's fine. I threw up in the buffet line as we we're
Seasick or just too hammered?
So the night before, my buddy and I went
In the buffet line,
So
you threw up.
yes, so we were. I bet this was 15 years ago. My buddy Jeff Gardner and I were on a cruise, and we met some ladies that were on the cruise, right? And I'm basically Dom DeLuise, so I'm just the wingman, right? I'm 5 pounds of groceries in a 2-pound bag, right? It is hideous. But he's a tall, handsome man, so he hooks up with this lady, and I wandered the cruise ship with this other gal who wouldn't stop talking. She used my phone to call back home, and I had like a $900 tab, right? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we went out partying all night, right? I get up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm going to throw up. And I walk into the bathroom, and it says, in all bold letters, do not drink the faucet water. Well, it's the only thing I had. So I drank the faucet water.
What?
We got yes. It's the most
told you
hungover. Whatever. I thought it was just a suggestion. So about 2 hours later, we have to get up and leave, right? And of course, it's the night of the living dead. We get up and they have like one more, cruise ship breakfast before you wander off back to where you went. And I'm standing in line and I go, I'm gonna throw up. And everybody's in line with their suitcases, and I just turned and I threw up all over the place. All
You
over.
didn't make it to a trash can?
No, all over me, all over myself.
Oh, my Lord.
All over the floor. I'm like 23,
Why
probably.
does this not surprise me?
Correct.
You shouldn't go anywhere.
Correct. And then we get in the car or whatever, the van to get to the airport, and I'm in the back seat in the sun the whole time. Then we get on
Just
the plane.
bouncing around.
Just
And
smelling right.
We're in the last row in between. He's in the aisle, and it's like 2 kids in the 2 middle seats in front of us and behind us, and it was horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
So go on a cruise.
The last cruise that I went on, it was with Touchdown in the Tropics. You actually went down with us for that.
Mexico.
Yeah, with Miller Lite and the Vikings, and which they don't do anymore. But the last one we did, it was on a cruise, and it was Kevin Williams was our guest, and then his +1, he brought Pat.
That's amazing.
Oh God, it was so funny. Those two were just hilarious. But then you're on the ship, and we ended up getting into like really wavy and stormy weather. And my wife, my monster of a wife,
My wife.
Christy got like really seasick. And so I had to go and do this dinner thing that I had to MC. And she's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "Well, you're sick. I'm going to go. I got to work."
Yeah, I got to work.
Yeah, I gotta work.
And she's like, "You would leave your wife? Well, what am I going to do? I'm not going to hold your hair.
Yeah.
What am I?"
Would we only stop the ship from moving?
Right. But then,
Shrink myself down and fight the virus myself.
Yeah.
the thing that was so interesting about that is that because that thing we were casting back and forth and swaying, and because the Miller Lite folks really know how to party, it was funny because you could tell the ones that had been partying too much because they didn't crash into the walls as they were walking down the hall.
Oh, yeah. They were just nice and loose. Yeah, they had loose hips.
Oh, yeah, that was a good time. I missed those touchdown in the tropics.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Was
we had
that
a
the
blast.
time Hawk was drinking pool water, or
No, that was a K102 thing.
yeah, and he was drinking out of the hot tub
The
because he
60-person swim-up hot tub bar.
he kept dropping his drink, but he kept drinking
He was
it.
just lowering his hand, and all of a sudden it would just go into the pee-pee water, and then he just kept drinking. It was like, dude.
Yeah. He hasn't. I don't think he's drank tequila since.
He did a performance naked in his suite later afterwards.
Classic Hog Scatty.
So real quick, did you actually get sick from drinking out of the non-potable water, or did you actually just was it just?
I think it was all of it, all the above. Yeah. It was not good. And this,
Way to go.
I had
You
my
gave
old
yourself
teeth.
some sort of amoeba
hideous.
along with your being
hideous.
hungover.
Yeah, hideous. Gross. Oh, yeah, not fun. But look at me now.
Hey, great story though.
Yeah, right.
It is
Yeah,
it's
correct.
one of those things where you're dying at the moment, but later, like me in Dublin, it was
correct.
not fun.
No.
Yeah.
But later on, it's a great story.
That's a way better story than a 2-hour tease to talk about your favorite snack at Costco.
Yeah, well, that's why I normally sit there.
Somebody's got to do it.
We'll come back. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Your summer soundtrack is already in your pocket with the free iHeartRadio app. Find your next summer preset now.
Luther buys used cars, which means they'll buy yours. If you have a car, truck, van, or SUV that you would like to sell, flat out sell it to Luther. Drive in to any of the 45 Luther locations. Tell them you have a vehicle you would like them to look at. They'll look it over, and then in about 15 minutes, they'll give you an offer. It's fast, it's simple, it's safe, it's stress-free. They're looking for all makes, all models, and all price ranges. So maybe you think your vehicle's just worth a couple $100 or a couple of $1,000. Luther still wants to see it, and they might surprise you with a good offer. And one of the best parts about all this, if you accept the offer, Luther handles all of the paperwork. And look, Luther has the largest inventory in the state of Minnesota, and they are always looking to add to it. And that's where you come in. So find a location right now at lutherauto.com, or if you know where one of those 45 locations is, drive in today and sell that vehicle to Luther. Turns out the best place to buy a car is the best place to sell your car. Sell your car, truck, van, or SUV to Luther. Find them online right now at lutherauto.com. Luther buys used cars.
Cub is your one stop for Memorial Day. Quality cuts for the grill, peak season produce, and everything you need to celebrate, all in one place. This week, save big on 80% lean ground beef, just $3.99 per pound with MyCub Rewards. Get Cub Smokehouse Fresh Bratwurst for only 99 cents. And juicy strawberries are 2 for $5 with MyCub Rewards. Cub, one stop and you're all set. See store for details.
It's Chris Hockey, the Power Trip. I just hate it when my toilets are gurgling and my lights are flickering. I don't know how to handle any of that. That's why I have Aquarius Home Services. They handle it, and they handle it fast. Knowledge is power. I've got none. They've got it all, and they give me peace of mind. Having a trusted plumber and electrician on call keeps your home running smoothly. And listen to this. For a limited time, you can save $98 on electrical or plumbing repairs from the pros at Aquarius. So visit AquariusHomeservices.com and get started today. Aquarius Home Services, earning the right to be recommended.
Want to make your next meal a little less ordinary? Well, head to Quick Trip, because we're so back with our legendary No Ordinary Chicken. Hand-breaded, fried to golden perfection, and ready for you to devour.
This chicken, it's different.
Hey, grab your own bite of our juicy chicken tenders or sauced up boneless wings. Perfect for dunking, dipping, and just devouring. Feeling extra hungry? Well, sink your teeth into our crispy chicken sandwich. It's so good you'll want to write it a love song.
Oh, chicken sandwich, you
You complete me.
Yeah, okay. Maybe not a song. But it's one great sandwich. And hey, if you're feeding the whole flock, grab the 8-piece chicken meal dinner for tonight, tomorrow, or the whole week. This isn't just any chicken. It's Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. The legend on your plate and flavor that rules the roost. Stop in your local Quick Trip today and taste the difference.
Pronto will replace or fix, replace or fix, replace or fix. Pronto will replace or fix your AC in 24 hours.
Wait, you wrote a jingle? If your air conditioner breaks down, little brother, Pronto will replace or fix it within 24 hours. Or pay you $100 every day you wait. Guaranteed, because
Pronto will replace or fix your AC in 24 hours.
Same day service at ProntoAC.com.
Barrero back with you for Mosquito Shield, and you know it's inevitable. You know those pesky mosquitoes and those diseased ticks are on their way. My strong recommendation, let the folks at Mosquito Shield treat your backyard and solve the problem. And they treat for the entire season. Go to moshield.com/Dan for $75 off. And now, also servicing the Brainerd Lakes area.
I think I just wrote the song of the summer. Listen.
That's just you drinking a Big Gulp from Speedway.
And just $1 for a large with Speedy Rewards? That's a hit. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 6/24/25. See app for full terms.
Hey, it's Meatsauce here, and my wife and I are the envy of the neighborhood. Why? Because we have an amazing sauna from our friends at SaunaSupplyCo.com. Sauna Supply Company is outstanding. They've made a custom sauna for us, and they can do the same for you. Go to SaunaSupplyCo.com.
If you're ready to get engaged, go straight to Arthur's Jewelers for no-pressure sales and a legendary selection.
All your favorite KFAN shows are also your favorite podcasts. Listen back on iHeartRadio and KFAN.com. Presented by Builders and Remodelers.
The legendary Bryan Adams is set to wrap up his Roll with the Punches tour at Target Center on November 26th, and you could be there. Check out our contest page to see how you can enter to win a pair of tickets. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest to enter today.
Welcome back. Final segment, Power Trip Morning Show. Johnny Athletic will join us in about 13 minutes to break down the Wolves Thunder Western Conference Finals. That'll start tomorrow at 7:30 on this station. Maxx, so I assume you'll be doing some kind of pregame, to the pregame, probably fan line afterwards.
Oh, yeah. I believe we're doing pregame and fan line before and after every game this series.
You guys do such a good job.
Oh, thanks, Muss.
Yeah,
it's all Parker. It's all Parker. He's the real star of the show, man. He's an elite basketball mind. So.
Yeah, he's good, man.
Underselling yourself.
Nice of him to show
Parker
up today.
is awesome.
Yeah, Parker's
nice of Parker
great.
to care.
Let's do some sports, even though we're supposed to do headlines, but let's do some sports, and then we'll say goodbye to Ben, and then we'll talk to Johnny Athletic.
It's time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by All Around, your TimberTech deck building contractor.
The Minnesota Twins' 13-game winning streak was snapped yesterday as the Brewers beat the Twins 5-3. Royce Lewis had an opportunity to tie the game in the eighth, but he got his home run snagged away from Jackson Chourio. The Twins' 13 straight wins was the second longest streak in Twins history. They host the Guardians tonight at Target Field. Bailey Obergos for your Twins. That game will start at 6:40.
And it's crazy that, as you guys were talking about earlier, the old AL Central, winning 13 games in a row, you'd be number one. They won 13 games in a row. There's still 5 games back.
Detroit's the best record in baseball.
That's insanity.
Insane.
Man. Yep. That pitching staff for the Tigers is nuts. But good for the Twins.
Is
man.
outstanding.
Right back in the mix, and at least make it an interesting summer, regardless of how they close out. Obviously, we want them to make it to the playoffs, but at least make it an interesting summer, man.
Yeah, Cleveland has lost 4 straight. Yeah. Target Field's sweet. You may not like the owners, but Target Field's badass.
It's a fun time on any given beautiful night in the summertime. So, hell yeah.
Heck yeah. And we got a great weekend coming up with Memorial Day weekend, and they got 3 games versus the Royals, so.
Ooh. I know. Are you sticking around?
It's going to be too cold.
Yeah, we're sticking around. I'm a little bummed that you might not be a great cabin weekend. I think I think a week from today it's supposed to be rain, so that's not.
You don't want to get out on the boat when it's 40 degrees out? That's not a...
No. Mm-mm.
Just wrapped in blankets.
Don't want to do that.
Putzing around.
Don't want to do that.
Nope.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. We'll figure. It sounds like Saturday, Sunday are gonna be beautiful. I mean, low 70s, but
perfect.
At least dry. So that's, I don't know, Muss. It's doable. I mean, it's not
Muss.
like it might. I know. If the sun is out and it's high and it's it's beaming down on you, it'll feel nicer, right?
Yeah, but I can't even get out and golf because otherwise you got to go late in the afternoon, and then it's going to be a 5-hour round. Because I like to play early in the morning, just try to blow through 18.
Yes. I like to play as fast as possible.
Yeah, in like a 3-hour bit.
Yeah.
And then, hit the 19th hole and still be home by 11. Not bad. But, no, I can't play. I got a 50-degree rule.
See, I broke that yesterday.
Yeah,
but
I heard you say that you golfed. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was like 48, but the sun was out. That's the huge difference, right?
It was a little breezy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what
the sun's
this
out.
weekend, if you're on the boat, you're at a cabin somewhere. Sounds like you're maybe going to be there.
Yeah.
70 with the sun out feels way warmer.
You know what?
No, not on the water, though. The water's going to be colder.
It's always 72 degrees and sunny at Muggs, so who cares, right?
Oh, that's perfect. Right. Yeah.
But
some tabs.
Of course. Yeah, I used to be the same way you are, Muss, where I was like, I'm not going to play if it's cold, but it was fun, man. It was a great time.
I don't want to feel the golf ball that much.
Yeah, the first couple of nobody warmed up. And then we just went out, and it was a tad greasy.
And you're a little bundled. And
it reminded you.
Why am I pushing every shot?
Right, it reminded you when you were a kid and you'd hit that baseball off a metal bat.
Oh, yeah.
Just shot down your hands.
The ringing in your hands.
Oh, the worst.
Oh, that was the worst.
Hideous. It was a lot of that yesterday.
Oh yeah, or you hit the ball off the tip, and then it's geez, almost even worse.
Yeah, but we had some fun.
Where are you going with that, Muss?
What?
You still talking baseball?
Bat and ball, yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah, go see the Twins.
Where are you going with that?
You know exactly where I'm going.
Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals starts Wednesday at 7 between the Pacers and the Knicks. That'll be at Madison Square Garden. New York is a 4.5-point favorite. They are minus 140 to win the series, Maxo.
Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised about that. But New York starting 5 is, I think, better than the Pacers starting 5. But the Pacers have a little bit of a deeper team, and that's not, again, like we kind of talked about. It's not New York. They need Jalen Brunson. Like they're not doing a damn thing if Jalen Brunson isn't getting going, and they have a really good starting 5. But that Pacers team is sneaky, man. They got a bunch of guys that can just go and take over that game. So the Pacers are the team that I would fear more if the Wolves were facing up against them in the finals.
Really?
I do think so, because I think that the Wolves are it's a similar thing to the teams we faced in the first couple of rounds. The Knicks are a really good team on their starting 5, and then after that you go to their bench. We have a clear-cut advantage. And I would rather play the Knicks for the storylines and stuff like that, but the Pacers, the Pacers scare me a little bit. But I am cheering for the Knicks, man. I know we don't usually like New York and their fans and everything like that, but that fan base, I mean, they're as starved as us, man. 1971.
Ben Stiller's a fan, so now I have to be. Yeah.
Sure.
He's delightful.
Why not? Yeah, it's fun. It's just more fun when New York is kind of involved. I mean, seeing those crowds, seeing Chalamet all up in the mix in Madison Square Garden.
Dragged him out of his car.
Right?
Did you see that?
That was nuts, man.
Yeah.
But that's just how, that energy is infectious, so it's hard not to root for them and root for Cat.
Yeah. Which would be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I would love it. If we could face the Knicks in the finals.
Outstanding.
So much fun, dude.
That would be sweet.
He's so good.
So much freaking fun. On the other hand, if it's Indiana versus Oklahoma City, Adam Silver might kill himself.
Yeah,
Adam Silver
hideous.
might jump off the top of 1600.
I mean, no offense, if it's Minnesota in Indiana.
Yeah, he's lucky. I mean, the Anthony Edwards thing is the only thing that he'd be rooting for the Timberwolves. But if it's if it's Oklahoma City, Indiana, that's a big yikes and a wet blanket on what's been a pretty fun NBA playoffs run so far.
The Final Four in hockey is set after the Panthers destroyed the Maple Leafs 6-1 last night in Game 7. The Panthers will battle the Hurricanes tomorrow in Game 1 of the East Final. The Hurricanes are a slight favorite. The Dallas Stars Saturday night scored a power play a minute 30 into overtime to beat Winnipeg to advance to the Western Conference Finals, where they will battle the Oilers Wednesday at 7:00.
I've not been watching over the last couple of days. Do you guys think we're getting a rematch? Oilers?
Florida
or those Panthers?
Florida when they play. How about I think it's Brad Marchand, the guy who used to play for Boston.
Yeah.
He was traded
Instigator, big time.
He was traded to Florida at the trade deadline. He has knocked out Toronto in 5 straight playoffs.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's brutal.
It's brutal, yeah.
My God.
Yeah. How about that?
I was going to say that maybe he get jumped next time he's in Toronto, but Canadians are too.
Yeah, they're too kind
for that.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Bieber was sitting just among the unwashed, and my wife's like, "Man, I wonder if he has bodyguards." I go, "It's Canada. I don't think
he's high.
They're too nice of people up there." Mussy, Scotty Scheffler won the PGA Championship by 5 strokes. His 3rd major of his career. He's the first player since Seve Ballesteros to win his first 3 majors by 3+ strokes since 1983. He's, of course, the favorite to win the U.S. Open, which is in Oakmont Country Club in Texas, his home state, about 3 weeks from today.
Yeah, and he didn't even have his A game.
He did.
Really.
He had his A game on the back 9 on Saturday.
On Saturday, yeah. But then, I mean, he was kind of
was spraying the ball, yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody else fell apart.
Right, exactly. And that's the live guys. You've seen this twice now. We talked about this earlier, that when it comes to the majors and the live guys, on Sunday, they just peter out.
Yeah.
And Rahm, my guy, ended up just falling apart.
Yeah.
The only cool thing that happened is he hit a guy in the head.
Yeah, and would he go double? He fell apart completely.
Yeah. He went from contention to 8th place.
Yeah.
Within 2 holes.
He collapsed. Yeah. We talked a little about this earlier, Liebs, but the 49ers and Brock Purdy agreed to terms on a 5-year, $265 million contract extension. He will get $181 million in total guarantees, including $165 in the first 3 new years of the deal that runs through 2030.
Yeah, and I think that when you look at it's an eye-popping number, but as you and we kind of broke down earlier on the show, when you really look at it from a per-year average, it's really not that bad. So whether you
I think it's like 41 per year with everything said and done.
It's 45 because he has 1 year left on this contract. So they basically rip up this 1 year. They add another year to this contract. So it's just an extension. So when you smooth out that number, it's like $45 million a year, which, I think it's arguable that he's a top 10 quarterback. I mean, if he's top.
You think so? Can he carry a team? I don't think he can carry a team.
I don't think he can either.
I think that
he hasn't had to so far, but I don't think he can actually just take over a game like some other quarterbacks who are also in that same dollar amount.
I think it seems high for this year.
Yeah.
But then Stroud gets paid next year. And all of a sudden now everything kind of gets reset. And so in 2 years, I mean, his $45 million is going to be top 12, top 13.
And that old line wasn't that great last year.
So I think it's a fair deal. I really think it's a fair deal. Whether you like him or you don't like him, I think it's fair for him for what he's earned. And I think it's fair for what a starting quarterback is getting in this system. As long as everything stays the same and Shanahan stays there and he stays in that system, I think it's a fair deal for both.
To me, he's just a saltine cracker without the salt.
That's a good point.
Super, super bland, and there's no sexy to him whatsoever. But it's a league that has to have quarterbacks, and so they're going to get paid.
Yeah,
yeah.
But the thing is, if you win and it's not sexy, it's still
a win.
It's still a win. And if he sounds like he has that sort of quiet it factor, and so I think they really like him behind the scenes too, as far as a leader goes. Yeah. So I think that goes a long way. The point that I want to make though is what a difference the Vikings are in right now, because for the longest time we're talking about our quarterback being is he a top 10 quarterback? He's getting paid like a top 10 quarterback. This, that, and the other. Yeah. A lot of people thought that he was a saltine without the salt. Right. Now we're sitting in a quarterback situation where we're 36th. We have the 36th highest paid quarterback on a per year average. That's a way better situation to be in when he has tremendous upside, huge ceiling. Everybody loves him. Seems like he has the it factor, and he's the 36th highest paid quarterback in the league. That's where you want to be.
Yes. Absolutely. That's why you're able to make the moves that you did.
That's where you build your roster.
Yes, correct.
That's the reason you can build your roster. That's the reason why right now everybody's so excited about this team, because of all the other things that we've done So because we don't have to pay a Brock Purdy type number to our quarterback.
Right. And we go back to, KO being the quarterback whisperer.
Sure.
And if he could do that for Sam Darnold, how could he not be able to do that with J.J. McCarthy?
Which I think would get really exhausting if you feel like you had to whisper all.
Yeah, I think that would hurt your voice.
I think it's kind of sexy.
You had to whisper.
I know, but it would just get kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's pillow talk.
It's like just
But then you could do the whisper song.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on Wales.
Banger.
You should throw the ball to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, do it.
I don't know
It
if you
seems
could be
very
heard.
It seems very subliminal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You just got to turn up the speaker in the helmet, and then you can hear it. I think it's sexy.
All right, my loves. I've got to go.
You're the best, Ben. Thursday?
We'll see you Thursday.
All right.
I actually forgot what day it was. I'm like, is today Thursday? And I'm going to see you on Monday? No, today's Monday. I'll see you on Thursday.
All right, brother. You're the
Okay,
absolute
bye.
best. Watch
Bye,
Ben on
Ben.
Twin Cities Live. He's very good at it.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Corey will be watching because Corey watches all the time. He loves it. All right, now we're just awaiting to hear from Johnny Athletic of The Athletic and theathletic.com to talk about the Wolves Thunder series. I think that's who Maxx was on the phone with, so we'll get to that. Muss, feel free to ask any kind of question you would like.
Oh, I absolutely will.
Because I know you are a giant basketball.
He's so good at what he does.
Yeah, he's
I love
outstanding.
when he's on the air here at KFAN, it's just absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, he's great. And I always lean on him when I need him. Johnny Athletic, what's up, my brother?
Saucy, what's going on, man?
No, they left me in charge to host the show, so I thought, what's my favorite thing to do when I have to do any kind of work? It's call you and let you do all the work.
Hey, I'm happy to step in. I'm missing my Saturdays with sauces and stuff, so let's get after it, man.
Well, don't encourage that. So anyway,
Abbott's calling.
I know you watched the game yesterday, and you watched when you watched Denver kind of keep it close, and then all of a sudden, whatever switch it was that the Thunder turned on, and they closed out that second half on just an absolute avalanche downhill. What are some of the things that the Thunder does really well that the Wolves have to be ready for?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main one, Sauce, is they just create turnover after turnover after turnover, and that's something that the Timberwolves have struggled with pretty much all season, especially in that Golden State series, of taking care of the ball and making sure that their mistakes don't lead to easy runouts for the opponent, and the Thunder just absolutely feast on that. And so it's going to be ultra important that the Timberwolves really just buckle down and make sure that they don't beat themselves, that, they make the Thunder beat them. And the way they beat themselves is if they just keep turning the ball over. That gets the Thunder out in transition. That gets them open threes all over the place. And so they just have to take care of the ball. No question about it. Julius Randle, Anthony Edwards, all these guys just have to be really smart with it. And not give them those live ball turnovers that really create so many problems for the Thunder opponents.
John, the Wolves are coming off of a series against a team that without Steph Curry, I mean, forget an X factor. They didn't even really have an A factor. And you're going up against an Oklahoma City team that's got X, Y, Z. I mean, this is a deep team. Outside of the obvious like SGA or Chet Holmgren, who's a guy that you're kind of looking out for that could be a game disruptor for the Wolves in this series? Or against the Wolves, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I think two of them, Max, when you look at it, I think it's got to be, Jalen Williams is sort of the Robin to SGA's Batman, and he struggled for long stretches of the Denver series, and they're one of the biggest reasons that it went 7 games is that Jalen Williams was struggling to shoot, struggling to score, struggling to hit from the outside, and so I really think this series could come down to who is the better number 2? Is it Julius Randle or is it Jalen Williams? Because Randle has been so good in these playoffs, so consistent and so reliable. He's going to be facing the best defense that he's faced so far in these playoffs. So how he gets his offense going versus what that Jalen Williams does is going to be key. And then the other guy that I think is big for the Thunder is Alex Caruso. We saw what he did defensively against Jokic yesterday, even though he gave up 8 inches and 100 pounds to him, and he was still able to be effective. He's very physical as a defender. He gets away with a lot as a defender, and he can knock down open threes. And what we have seen from the Wolves when they've played the Thunder well and when they've hung with OKC, generally, like a lot of those role players, the Alex Caruso's, the Aaron Wiggins of the world, struggle from three. They just miss open shots. And so if they're knocking down those open threes, that makes it a lot harder for the Wolves. But I really want to see, in the end, when the dust settles on this series, who was the better number two option to back up their star? Was it Julius Randle or was it Jalen Williams? I think that's going to have a big say in who wins this series.
John, as a huge basketball fan, it's Muss, by the way. If you're looking at OKC and if they're looking at the Wolves, they've seen what happened with, you already touched on this, with the turnovers so much. You got to assume that they're going to do a lot of press coverage and they're going to actually double up. How do the Wolves actually clean that up in that situation?
Yeah, it's a good question, Muss, because one of my big concerns for the Wolves in this series is whenever they take Mike Conley out. Mike Conley is their main ball handler, their ultra reliable guy. He doesn't turn the ball over. He plays really smart all the time. But they sometimes run into problems when it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker or Dante DiVincenzo, or even when Ant is the primary ball handler bringing the ball up the court. And you're going to see OKC with Kayson Wallace and Caruso and Shea and all these guys really get up into the ball handlers and make them dribble kind of 90 feet, and that makes it hard. And so I think one thing that I will anticipate seeing is kind of hit ahead passes. Julius Randle handling the ball, Naz Reid handling the ball a little bit more, and just trying to kind of take some of the pressure off their lead ball handler, not make it a dribble fest out there, because that's where OKC really feasts. And so they're going to have to be smart with their passing and really tight with their handle, or else things can get out of control, especially when they're playing in Oklahoma City.
Couple more for Johnny Athletic of The Athletic and theathletic.com. One of the things that we've talked about a lot on this show today is that if you bring your C or B game like they have against the Lakers, we saw it a couple times against the Warriors, and they were bailed out because they didn't have Steph Curry, right? And you say what you want about Luka and LeBron, but if you bring your C and B game to this series, is it wrong for me to say you're going to get swept?
Yeah, no. I mean, the Oklahoma City is incredibly good. They're a 68-win team. They are deep. They are hungry. They're young. I don't think they're going to be worn down by that 7-game series they just played. They're going to have plenty of energy. And so you're right, Sauce. If they don't bring their A game, it could be a short series. Now, here's what I would say for Wolves fans who are worried. I think one of the reasons that you saw so many B- C games in that Golden State series is the Wolves knew that the Warriors couldn't hurt them. When Steph went out, they knew that Golden State did not have enough to keep up with them over this series. And so I just think that they were a little bit more relaxed than you'd want to see a team be in the second round of the playoffs. One thing about the Thunder, they know that the Thunder is the real deal. They know that you have to have, Greg Popovich always calls it appropriate fear. You have to respect your opponent. You have to be ready, and you have to know that if you're not completely on your game, you're going to get blown out. And so I think this, while it's the toughest matchup for the Wolves in these playoffs, you might actually see the best Wolves basketball in these playoffs, super focused, disciplined, ready to go, because they know that if they are not on that level, they're going to lose the game. And so I'm really excited to see how they respond to that, just knowing that they're playing a real opponent that is really formidable and can take care of business if they're not on it.
Johnny, now we've been waxing poetic about the Oklahoma City Thunder for like the last 8 minutes now, but they're men. They bleed just like the rest of us. They're not infallible, and they just went 7 games against an albeit very good Denver Nuggets team, but they went 7 games for a reason. What is something you saw in that series that you think the Wolves can take advantage of?
Yeah, I mean, I do think, to your point, this is a team that, as good as they have been in the regular season, they still are a young and unproven team that has not been on this big stage. I think Shea, you don't have to worry about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but I think Jalen Williams, I think, Isaiah Joe, Cason Wallace, Chet Holmgren, all these guys are going to be in this spotlight for the first time. And the Wolves have been here. They, except for Julius Randle, who this is his first conference finals, everyone else has been in this spot. And so what you want to look for is, does the OKC play a little tight? There were plenty of games in that Denver series where it looked a little tight, where it looked like the supporting cast didn't want to take a shot. I even look back to the big comeback win that the Wolves had in OKC earlier this season. When this team is challenged, when the games are tight, some of those role players can shrink from the spotlight a little bit. This Oklahoma City played the fewest clutch games in the regular season of any team in the league. They just blew people out all of the time. So if the Timberwolves can keep these games close, we saw how good they were executing down the stretch against the Lakers, against the Warriors. I do think that that is going to be something that could really work to their advantage.
You're the absolute best. Where can we read all your stuff about this upcoming series and so on and so forth?
Yeah, it's at theathletic.com. In just a few minutes, I expect we'll have a very big profile on Chris Finch that I think turned out really well. So I'm excited for people to read that. But we got Alec Lewis helping out on these playoffs too, which has been great. But just a ton of great coverage at theathletic.com.
You're the best. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, fellas.
Bye. Thanks, Johnny.
That's The Athletic, and it's Johnny.
So
he's the best, man. That guy, he's the best.
An elite basketball
I met him. I mean, when was Rubio? When was that conference? 2011? Is that when he came over? I mean, at that press conference they had at the Target Center, that's the first time I ever met him. That's the first. I think it was. No, they drafted him in 09.
That's right. That's when he started. Yeah.
But anyway, that's the first time I met him, man. He's the best. He's such a nice guy. By the way, Chris Finch, I think, opens PA's show here in a couple of minutes.
Let's go. Speaking of nice guys, man, Chris Finch.
He's the best.
That's so awesome.
He's the best coach I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I love
100%.
Flip Saunders. I love Ryan Saunders. Chris Finch is the best coach the Timberwolves have ever had. And it's not close.
Yeah, it's hard to argue.
Back-to-back Western Conference Finals. Now, don't get killed.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Still, he changed the entire culture of what Timberwolves basketball
Correct.
is.
And now,
and it's so fun to watch. I mean, this is the most fun Timberwolves team we've ever had.
And the games are not at 9 o'clock. And I know that's such an old man thing to say, but
but it's true though.
I don't care if you work. If you have Barrero's hours, you don't want us to have till midnight watching basketball.
And it's just better for the league.
You and Hawk do,
I'm having garage beers. I can't wait to hear the hootie hoo afterwards. Come on.
So you guys will be on. You'll have pre and post bits.
Yep, pre and post every single game will be Howell and me and Parker Fox will be breaking down every single game, and hopefully you'll hear two grown men cry over these airwaves as the Minnesota Timberwolves secure their first ever.
I can't wait if they win. The first thing I'm doing is it'll be
dude, it's gonna be
and it can happen. I know
realistic.
I know they're not favored, but they can win this series. They can beat Oklahoma City for sure. Now,
absolutely,
it could go. On Friday we could be going, God, they're down 0-2 and they lost 150 to 110. It's over. I can jump on and off a bandwagon quicker than anybody.
Yeah, we've seen your tweets.
Yeah, can't wait.
I can't wait for that, though. You and Crease's tweets are the best.
Yeah, thank you. Where can we find you, Mussy?
You know what? Actually, this Friday, I'm going to be up at Wild Bill's in Blaine for Finally Friday with K102 and Miller Lite giving away Winstock tickets.
Sweet. Yeah. Good for you, Mussy.
Very excited about that.
All right. You're the best, Maxo. Thanks for helping me guide this thing in. We didn't guide it into rocks. We didn't guide it into the ground.
No. We didn't capsize or anything.
We didn't have to have PA start at 7:30.
Right.
You hated on Disney. That was a little weird.
We didn't. Leber hated on Disney. All right, you guys are the best. Everybody will be back Wednesday. Zach will be back a week from tomorrow. Corey will be back tomorrow. It's me, Corey, and Maxo tomorrow. Marnie, the whole gang. It'll be great. Bye.